Hey, what's up everybody? BDF 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so today is payday for the room, so I'm headed over to go pick up what I gotta pick up to bring it back to them. I'm sore, man. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I am sore as hell. My body is feeling it. I know why that is because of, on top of all the regular working out I've been doing, I also decided to walk home yesterday with the backpack. Being as heavy as it was, since I brought back all kinds of stuff from Target, it was never my intention to walk all the way home from the train station, which is, like, as you guys know, about a 50-minute walk. But I got tired, as I was telling y'all during the video that I made. I had gotten tired of sitting there waiting for that bus to come around. I had been sitting there for like 20 minutes. I'm like, man, it's one thing to be physically tired. It's another thing to just be sitting around waiting when you know that you're now used to walking again. So it's like, man, I don't want to wait for this bus. I could be halfway down the street. I started to remember that there were some things I wanted to talk about, so I just decided to walk. And, talking preoccupies my mind with what the physical nature of the walk actually is. I didn't feel all that tired. By the time I got to the hotel, I was feeling pretty good. It was a little heavy on my back, but had I not been talking, I would have really been feeling that. But when I got upstairs, did my hundreds, I was fine. Got all that done, ate, sat down, laid down, went to sleep, woke up sore. And I knew what it was. And push-ups, my push-up regimens that I normally do, boys, have been hard to push out them 107, man. I think I've done maybe 3 sets today. Woo. All of them were 10 times more grueling than they had been in this era, man. It's just the body is really struggling with the workouts today specifically. I know this is the type of day where you probably want to lay in bed and recover the body. Every once in a while, every 2 weeks or so, I feel this way. Like, man, I'm just exhausted. But unfortunately, because it's payday, I'm gonna get that right. I gotta go down to my little police station and ATM spot, which is all the way there by the train station. So this is me taking that walk again, and hopefully by the time I'm done with the walk, I will have shaken off the fatigue, because that's sometimes what it does. Sometimes you need a workout to make you feel more spry. You got to let the body move and get loose. It can have a similar effect as rest, depending on just how tired you are. So that's really what it is for me, just putting myself in a position to take care of business. I'm not going to go down to the 7-Eleven. That's not happening. Scam me once, you won't scam me twice. Put it like that. So I'll take the long walk and just trust that it'll be good enough for the body, man. Because I can feel soreness in upper and lower. So it's gotta deal with it. But yeah, man, I woke up this morning feeling all right. Ain't got no complaints. Hopefully that guy's all right. He don't look like he's doing too good across the street. Like, this country don't care about no homeless people. They can care less about you. They don't care about you. That's what it is, man. I'm thankful that my family does care about me, as I'm going through what I'm going through. But a lot of people don't have that, as we know. So just prayers out for everybody who's going through that, whether you have support or don't. But for me, I'm just thankful that my family did send that in. I got the transfer this morning, so rather than it be frustrated and worried about it, I find myself with the ability to just have to go pick up the funds, and I'm very thankful for that. I know how hard it is to get money in this country. I know how difficult it is. So for it to be coming to me to take care of this in this way makes my life significantly more privileged and easy than most people in my situation. You know what I mean? And so that's why I try to use my voice to what I think the Lord and my family would ultimately be proud of, rather than just be out here just doing whatever makes me happy, whatever makes me have fun and all that, sitting in the house all day, coddling my mind and all that. I don't do that. I get on this phone and I use my voice for the betterment of what I think can help people with substance. That's how I get it done. I don't have a family of my own. I don't have a wife to take care of and all that good stuff. So this is what I can do. I found myself this morning posting things on what's going on in Gaza as I do, trying to do my advocacy thing, using my voice to the betterment of my ability. This is how I can contribute. And this is what I know how to do. And so I'm very thankful that the Lord has given me that right, and just continue to keep me in this position to have some purpose in this process that I'm going through, where, I don't quite have all my life together or whatever, ain't quite where I need to be mentally, but I can use what I do have to be active and to work out and all these different things that keep me consistent and keeping me feeling like at least I'm contributing in some way. So, I think about working and paying taxes and where that tax money is often going. And I think about the propaganda machine in this country having the rock the vote process going on. And what I heard this morning, what was posted this morning, was really interesting to me. It was essentially showing Whoopi Goldberg and several others who were more or less trying to get everybody who's undecided voters to pick a side and vote for who is available to us. Essentially Whoopi was saying, don't be what was the word she used? The phrase was something along the lines of a one subject voter or something like that. Don't be a one subject voter. But my thing is, if the one subject is proving to us that we don't necessarily have a voice in the other subjects, if the idea of what we're watching is destroying the credibility of both parties, then why am I going to behave as if I don't understand this as I live my life as a citizen? Am I supposed to believe in these parties when they don't pay any attention to us when we speak on their IG posts about ceasefire and all this? I'm supposed to just believe that suddenly they're proving themselves to be trustworthy because of celebrity A and celebrity B are telling me to rock the vote like they've been telling me my entire life? When I try to use my voice to save people who are starving, regardless if you believe the propaganda against them or not, I'm ignored. So why am I going to believe the charade of politics in this country when they're proving themselves to be discredited by way of this particular subject? It trickles down to me understanding that I have no power on any of these subjects. And that's what Whoopi Goldberg and her fellow panelists are not acknowledging that we are aware of. We're not undecided. We've concluded that we don't have a voice and that this is a charade. And of course they have one person up there that was directly speaking the Hamas narrative to us, likely a person put there by Israel, giving us the whole Hamas is the bad guy, Hamas makes billions and doesn't give their money to Palestinian people narrative. And at this point, after hearing what I heard about what went on in the New York Times, where they were hiring a food blogger to more or less write propaganda Hamas narratives in their publication, a person who had never written any other column of any kind was hired by NY Times to essentially be the voice of that particular propaganda. And when I see that, and then I look up and I say, and it turns out that that person was also the nephew or the niece or what have you of the other person that they hired that turned out to be an IDF soldier in the past who wrote up lies about the Fort Lee headless babies, and it turned out that she didn't also have any credibility as a journalist either, but had in fact been a soldier in Israel's army. I mean, it's like, when I see that, it just tells me how intricate Israel has been in placing people on these publications to warp our mind with their agenda and lies. So I just looked at that woman in that blue shirt on the panel of the View and just wrote her off within myself as another one of them. And she was placed there directly by Israel to assure that the millions of people who watch the View view Israel and their propaganda as they intend for them to. They have people in place all over what it is that we watch. Celebrities, panelists, news, media people, writers in all different areas to push the Israeli agenda upon the American people. That is a proven fact at this point. So when I hear people giving me the Hamas narrative, I have no doubt that they were likely Israeli paid people pushing that terrorist agenda upon our heads, or people who are directly terrorists themselves for the Israeli army or some variation of that nonsense. In other words, corrupted people who are terrorists themselves. And so that's really what it is, man. That's exactly what I think that woman is. I don't care how long she's been on that panel. I don't care who she is. She is pushing that bull crap. And I don't think it's by accident by any stretch of the imagination when it comes to talking about 40 headless babies, Hamas being the reason why this is happening, the Flower Massacre being a bunch of Palestinian people killing Palestinian people, and that the Israeli army was more or less feeling like they were threatened when starving people rushed aid trucks that had been blocked for weeks. Of course they're going to rush it. And of course we're not going to believe you felt threatened by starving people who finally see a bite to eat for the first time in a month. You know, the fact that they would insult our intelligence with this nonsense, behave in a dystopian way when we complain about it on these IG posts, and then proceed to believe that we're going to trust them in other areas is a certain level of sorcery in and of itself upon their minds, is to think that their bullcrap is being bought by people who are paying attention to them. You have to be absolutely insane to think that we are absolutely as stupid as you believe us to be. You have to be insane to think we're this stupid. You have to have some propaganda being placed upon your minds that make you not think clearly as you push this propaganda on us. That's what I'm thinking about the people who believe in this nonsense and who are pushing this onto us. They seem just as brainwashed as they want us to be. If I'm being completely honest with you, I think something happened to them. Because the things that they're doing and the things that they're trying to push onto the people make so little sense and insult our intelligence in such a way that it makes me wonder if their brains are okay. It's the God's honest truth. I said, you want us to believe this? And you really think we believe this? Not only do you want us to believe this, but you want us to believe this after witnessing the opposite of what it is that you're saying every single day, multiple times a day. At what point in time and in this earth, in any way, at any time during this thing spinning, have you been able to push propaganda on the people after they see the truth about that propaganda being the opposite of what you say it is? This is the only time I've ever even heard anything like that. You got to tell the lie before the people see what it is that you ultimately are telling us it's not. Not after, not during. And that's why I'm starting to wonder, like, yo, we're going to find out, like, we're going to find out that the people who are pushing this narrative on us, who think they have power, they've probably been, something has happened to them. The Netanyahus and the Bidens of the world, something happened to them. Scientists, somebody did something to their brains. I'm telling you, man, that's where my head goes now. It's like, I think something happened to those people. I think they might be victims of something. They might have had somebody messing with their heads some kind of weird scientific way to make them think that doing this makes any sense at all. I'm serious. I've never been more serious. I am dead serious. It makes me wonder if, like, when it comes down to breaking down when something is expected to work versus when it isn't expected to work, somewhere within their intelligence, something has really gone wrong. Either that, or as I've speculated before, this is part of it. Doing it in front of you, having you consider it, is part of it. It's a lot. It's a lot to consider, man. But at the end of the day, the one thing I believe for certain is that none of this should make any sense to anybody that can think for themselves. And I was looking at someone posted Michael Rappaport. I long stopped following him before the turn of the year. Michael Rappaport, actor that's often been as Spike Lee of movies, who's proven himself to be a bona fide Israeli supporter of the highest order. Regardless if they're killing babies or feeding them, he don't give a damn. He's with them. He went to Israel, I guess, and he was going around some very, very comfortable neighborhood talking about where is the, I don't remember the word he used, but more or less, where's the bad stuff happening? I don't see it. Where is it happening? I think he's like, where's the apartheid or something? Where is it happening? I'm like, in Gaza, friend. Like, it's not happening in Israel. Israel is a very comfortable place. And the argument that you are trying to make is essentially that Israel is lying about things being bad in their neighborhoods. But because you're so warped into dystopia of what it is that you're doing, you don't realize what it is you're actually trying to prove. He went up there asking everybody in Israel where the bad stuff was happening. I'm like, buddy, it's happening in Gaza. It's happening in the West Bank. It's happening not in the places that they've already colonized and are now settling in. Not in the places that were long stolen 75 years ago. Those places have been comfortable for years. There's nothing bad happening there. Those people have long made that place safe for themselves. And so I just look at Michael Rappaport as yet another very, very, very lost, brainwashed Israeli person. He's not from Israel, but neither are any of them. It is what it is. You know, unfortunately, he has the voices and the voice to carry to make himself look as foolish as he is. And I've talked about him many times on this channel. And he's been a habitual line stepper in several areas of this. Over the last 5 years, he's been a habitual line stepper in certain areas. I just thought he was really out of line with certain things. And this is no exception. But this is by far the one that really shows who he actually is. Simply a bad guy. Some people just don't care about anything other than what it is that they choose to care about. And the rest is just inconvenience. And he seems like he's one of those. Like, I would rather ignore everything that you're telling me that should make me question what it is I was told, because I don't want to have to face the idea that I was lied to. Like, he's one of those. Like, bro, you need a therapist. That's all you need. Because the truth is in your face. Truth been in your face about what it is that you support. If you choose not to go against that, then you're just one more supporter of genocide, friend. Like, it ain't deeper than that. Just say you hate Israeli kids. You want to kill them yourself, because that's all you're doing with your voice. You ain't doing nothing good. And so he's scum of the earth. I'm just like any other person that's speaking that nonsense. Lowest of the low, man. Lowest of the low. And so that's really my thoughts, man. I just wanted to share with y'all where my head is, man. The flower massacre, they saying it's Palestinians killing Palestinians, but they did open fire on them. like, what the hell does that even mean? Or a lot of people were trampling each other. Yeah, they're going to trample each other when they hear hails of bullets coming at each other. There's thousands of people out there who've been starving for over a month and a half. And you start shooting at them when they finally see a truck with some aid in it after you've been blocking that aid for months. And as you shoot at these people, of course they're going to trample each other, because they're trying to get the hell away from spraying bullets that you're firing at their heads. Of course they're going to raid the trucks that have been depraving their starving bellies for a month. You would too. It ain't enough food. And they ain't seen none in a while, so of course they're going to rush it. You created the environment for which that rush would take place, and then proceeded to behave as if it's happenstance. As far as I can tell, That, my friends, is a created environment for which certain things that you plan took place. And then from there, you reacted as if you planned to act. As you plan to act, you put forth that action. So what I'm saying to everybody is this. I'm not confused by this bull crap, these unique ways they find to torture and belittle these human beings. I'm not surprised by any of this. This is what they do. They've come up with new ways to torture human beings, new ways to try to erase them from the earth and make them feel as horrible about their existence all the way to the grave. That's all that Israel's about. It's all they've been about for 75 years toward those people. And I tell you the truth. No one is confused about who is complicit with letting it happen. UK, Canada, many Arab surrounding nations, they're all fine with this because capitalism is what they're ultimately bound by. And the guilt that comes with all of the different corrupted things that Israel know they've done for the last however long it's been. They're in their back pocket. They paid and bribed and ultimately bound by guilt. And we know this. So people can continue to believe the propaganda if you want, but it ain't gonna change the fact that what we've seen, those who've been paying attention, we've already seen the debunking of that propaganda. We've already seen the atrocities that they say are not happening. We see what they're hiding. Them behaving as if it isn't happening doesn't change the fact that we see it. It's there. All day long. Every day for the past 140 plus days. Genocide right in our faces. And the lies they tell to those that they think we are liars. When I ain't got no reason personally to lie about any of this. Because whether I lie or tell the truth, as I look around, it's pretty damn the same around here. You understand what I'm saying? This street didn't look the same as it looked for the last 6 months. Ain't nothing changed around me. Well, I gotta lie about that. I tell the truth about it because I have a heart about it, and I realize that this country is paying into that with money that is being taken from people who are working hard every day. And even if I wanted to boycott this company that sends money to Israel and give money to that company that may need help, giving money to financial aid in circumstances elsewhere, taxes are still going to be taken from those places. I can find a bag of money in the street and it's illegal for me not to pay taxes on it. And where does that tax money go? Wherever the hell they want it to go. You can't escape this. And because I understand that aspect of it, I speak out. It's wise for me to speak out. Because that's my defense against this nonsense. They know you need to get a buck to pay your rent, to pay for your food so that you don't starve. They know you need that. And when you get it, because you get it on their turf, because you get it on their property, they get to tax you for it. And as they tax you for it, they take that tax money and do whatever the hell they choose. Nah, man, this is my defense to that. Now, I wonder why the Lord didn't want me to work. And I say that knowing that in this world, what it is truly considered that I have is a mental problem. Right? I have a mental problem, and that's why I don't want to work. I had a mental breakdown last time I had a real job and was so miserable at it that I never went back. It's been two and a half years. I never worked. But why would all that be the case? Why would all that even be the case? And then I fast forward to find out where my tax money would go if I were working. And I say that's why. My subconscious mind, or the Holy Spirit from whom I serve, did not want me paying in to that. I guess I'm really thinking about, why do I have this problem? Why can I not override my desire to not work? How is it that I've been able to survive without working and the rest of the world around me cannot do so? How is that even possible? It should be impossible. And then I look at where the money's going. And it's like, So if I were working, I would be paying taxes into the genocide of these people. And for all I know, they're taking exact dollars that I've sent them in the past, money that has been sitting wherever it's sitting, have directly funded these bombs, directly funded the IDF's whatever artillery they have. You don't know what dollar goes where, no different than you don't know what germ goes where. But I can tell you over the last 2 years, the Lord has made it so that I haven't been working. And I haven't been able to override that to the betterment of my very own self. And all I know to say is that it's because I have a mental issue and just can't seem to override my own desires to be comfortable. But the truth of the matter is, nothing I've been through has been comfortable, and I still ain't went back to work. I've had every reason to sell out in every way possible to get myself out of this situation, and still I can't seem to override that. And then I look up and I say, look at what's happening here with the money that all these people are working hard and paying into this country. Look at what's happening to this money. Look at all the things I've been able to talk about while I haven't been working. And how nobody else seemed to be able to because they're too busy working. Some stuff never made any sense. But now that I'm starting to see what's happening here, it makes all the sense in the world to me. Some stuff I couldn't seem to figure out why I was doing those things. It's because I could feel certain things. Why did I never want to go to school? Probably along these same lines, because they were indoctrinating each and every one of us who went into these systems how to think, how not to hold them accountable, how to praise this and not praise that, how to look at this as if it's normal and that as if it's not. All aligned with agendas that don't have nothing to do with God. And I know and I realize that ever since, in fact, before I left that job, I've been praying every single day. Not only for myself, but for all the people that I did on those lists that I was telling y'all about, which have now gone up to about 400 people. It's like, if what I was doing was so wrong, then how does it trickle down to this, for which I just described over the last 6 minutes? Me not paying into none of that. Me not contributing to none of that. Me being able to say all these different things that ain't had me paying into the wealth of these evil Zionists at all. They have been able to benefit off of me so very minimally over the last 2 years. And I've been able to take a bite out of them with my voice tremendously over the last 2 years. And that's why I tell all of y'all, man, just follow the Spirit. If you have purpose, you know who you are. Don't worry about what the world around you tells you makes sense. They don't know what's going to be standing, what's going to be falling over the next however long it is. They don't know. They don't know nothing. People think they're paying into stuff that's going to deteriorate over 5 minutes, in 5 minutes time. People think they believe in cultures that are going to be out of style 5 minutes time. We don't know nothing other than what it is that we feel when we pray, and ultimately what we are able to prove with what it is that we see, for which we should only believe half of. And I tell you right now, when it comes to this genocide, I've seen so much data of this. So many kids have been dead in my phone. So many atrocities, different creative ways of torturing people that I've been able to surmise based on what it is I've seen on that damn thing. They come up with new ways of doing this every day. They come up with new creative ways to enact torture upon people. And furthermore, I see people that I'm supposed to believe are my leaders completely bankrupt to the idea this should not happen. To the moral compass for which this is supposed to be stood up against has been fought against by people in power continuously. As if it's right to let this happen, as if it's right to do this to people. And the first thing that happens if you try to do this to your enemy is they throw you in prison or put you in a chair. So how is it that it's okay for them to do it in Israel, for Israel to do it in Gaza, but it's not okay for me to do it to my enemy in the streets? I'm a monster if I try doing the stuff that they're doing to their enemies to mine. And yet nobody's supposed to be able to see that angle because apparently we're too blind. They can't make that make sense. They're not going to try. They're just going to continue to say, follow me. Do as I say, not as I do. Just like every bad parent who does that. Do as I say, not as I do. It's horrible parenting. You should be an example of your words and your actions matching. And being a fantastic example for those to do what they should. Not watch you do what they shouldn't and proceed to hold them accountable for what you would not hold yourself accountable for. Praise the Lord. My name is BDF 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.